Summer No Instructions, number 11. I'm Bob.
And I'm Josh.
And we don't have a topic.
Nope.
Kind of. Not really. We are doing bag number 5.
Of the Lego Voltron. We're still on the Blue Lion.
Yep.
Blue Lion is the other leg?
You know, you could ask me and I wouldn't know which one was which.
It's the other leg. I can look on the box and pretend like my fandom just won me an award.
It's totally the leg. In the original series.
Nope.
This bag has little rubber wheels in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The last one had a single rubber wheel.
It did?
That was not an easy sentence to say without getting tripped up.
Wait, I did that one. What did it have as a wheel?
It was on the bottom. It's this belly button.
Oh, I see. The last lion. I was thinking you meant the last bag.
Oh, no, not the last bag. The previous lion.
My bad. Kids above us again. Sorry. That's life. Actually, they're coming downstairs.
We're gonna have visitors.
We're gonna have visitors here in just a second.
First guests. About time. We need to step up our game with this podcast.
That's right. Well, I guess they disappeared. Okay, so no guests. Yeah. We went to the Louisville Maker Faire yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And you were there for a very short amount of time.
Yeah, because we had a meetup that evening. And my plan was to bring my oldest son. We were going to go to like the tail end of the Maker Faire because it's not all that big. Mm-hmm. Go to the tail end of the Maker Faire and then go to the meetup afterward. So I didn't want to be out like for hours and hours.
Oh, right.
But I guess the timing or the communication for the timing of the fair was a little off because we didn't know what time it ended. We thought it was over at 7 or so.
Yeah.
And so we got there at 4. And as we got there, people were driving away and like things were being packed up.
Yeah. I think it changed over time and like not everybody got updated because I saw 5 at one point and then I saw 7 and I'm like, oh wow, they're extending it. That must be like good attendance or something. Yeah. But yeah, by the time you got there,
there was barely anything open.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot at the fair anyway before that, but quite a few of them had packed up.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer.
The DK had fun. The Maker Mobile from a makerspace called Maker 13 that I'm affiliated with, they were there and they had made the air powered rocket thing that we made in the video.
Yeah. And
so they got at least he got to make a rocket, which he was pretty stoked about, that it didn't blow up like some of the other people.
Like my kids.
Well, at least Flynn's blew up in like a spectacular fashion.
Yeah, just a giant side blowout. And that was totally my fault because I was the one that pumped it up. Put too much pressure in there and it blew out. But that's okay.
Yeah, and then he didn't feel like staying for the meetup. So your wife was gracious enough to take him home with all of your kids. And then you and I and Jimmy DeResta, who was there also, went across the river to the makerspace, Maker 13, who also runs that mobile maker thing. We had a meetup last night. So how'd you like that?
It was good. It was cool. It wasn't huge, which was nice because it was nice and relaxing. And I don't know. What do you think? They were like 25 people, maybe?
I don't know.
20?
I was getting a tour of the space. I talked to maybe 5 people the entire night, and a majority of them were staff at the makerspace.
I didn't talk to tons of people. I think most people were there to see Jimmy. And so, I talked to a handful of people, had a few different conversations in groups, but I definitely didn't talk to everybody who was there because, I don't know why, but I didn't.
Jimmy has a massive following in this area because all the bourbon-related stuff that he does. So he knows people from sponsorship deals and things. So he has people that he just knows in the area. So he had a nice little crowd around him most of the evening.
Well, and he has a different kind of draw than most people. Like, this is going to sound bad, and I don't mean it to, because I love Jimmy, and it has nothing to do with him, but there's a certain, like, what's the word? There's, like, a different intensity that some people like Jimmy with.
Oh, yeah.
Than other people.
You've never been referred to or as a godfather.
Right.
Of a thing. Not just
Which
because...
is fine by me.
Yeah.
I'm not at all interested in that.
Yeah, not just because he was, a front runner in the community, but, like, he has that type of... He has a mob-like following where people are very dedicated.
Which is good. Good for him. I don't mean that in a negative way. But the people that will come out to see him are there very intensely to see him, which is cool. But it was good to see him for a few minutes and hang out. And
Went to go have dinner. That was fun.
yeah, cool little chicken place. That place was good.
It was. I enjoyed it.
I liked it. Totally unhealthy fried chicken, but
It was hot fried chicken too, so it was like dipped in hot sauce.
I wish I'd gone up a level. I went mild because like I usually can't handle spicy stuff, but I liked the spice that was on it. So like one step up,
Yep.
would have been good.
I concur. I went hot, and I could have gone a little hotter.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you like hot stuff?
Chicken I like. So there's certain things that I like spicy.
Huh.
And fried chicken with hot sauce, love it. Pizza with hot sauce, absolutely love it.
Pizza with hot sauce.
Hands down.
Huh.
When we were at Matterhockers last week, they had a bunch of pizza from Costco, and they had this like industrial half-quart size bottle of Cholula, and they spoke right to my heart.
Huh.
Yep.
Interesting. It doesn't sound bad. I just wouldn't have thought of doing that.
Well, because most of the pizza that I've had, I mean, good pizza is good pizza, but a majority of the time you have regular pizza, like if it's at an event or if it's
Yeah.
free.
Right.
So I think some hot sauce bumps up regular pizza.
Middle of the road pizza.
Yeah, to more than adequate.
Okay, so here's a little micro topic. Chicago or New York style pizza?
I think you have to be in the mood for one or the other.
Really?
Yes. Chicago pizza I've had a couple times. One time I had it in Chicago, and it's like Thanksgiving dinner.
It is.
Like
That's
you
why I
better
like
get
it.
ready. You better wear your stretchy pants. To where New York pizza, like it's a massive piece, but it could be a meal in itself. Like one piece could be a meal in itself, and the same goes for Chicago. But one seems like a walking around food, and the other seems like I need a booth for a little while kind of food.
Yeah.
So I think it's what you're in the mood for at that particular moment.
You don't have a preference?
No. Not really. I mean, you can't put hot sauce on Chicago pizza.
You could.
It seems... I wouldn't, and I don't know why.
Huh.
But,
Interesting.
yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
There's already so much going on.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
It's like if you were going to put whipped cream on pie, but you wouldn't put whipped cream on cake.
Huh.
That parallels in my mind for some reason, and I'm not sure why.
That doesn't even make any sense, but I kind of also agree with you.
Right? It's on the cusp of making any kind of sense.
Is it because of the icing? Because icing is kind of close in...
Yeah, like it's unnecessary. You don't need that there.
Huh. Weird.
But now we have to test this.
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
going to walk into a Chicago place with a giant bottle of hot sauce, but I'm ready.
I will eat Chicago-style pizza anytime you want. So you let me know. I love thick crust pizza. Like pan pizza is some of my favorite pizza. New York's, I don't know. I mean, everybody likes what they like, and so everybody can disagree with me, but it's just... Every piece of that's claimed to be New York-style pizza that I've ever had feels like somebody dropped some pizza toppings on wet paper. And that's like, nah, no thanks.
Icky?
No, it's just like floppy. Like it doesn't taste bad, but
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah, you gotta fold it in half to eat it properly.
like I don't know. I'd rather have sandwich pizza, which is like
See, but that's like hand, like New York, you gotta eat it with a hand. In Chicago, like you should eat it with cutlery,
well, yeah, nothing wrong with that though.
which makes it pie,
Well, they call it pie.
like meat pie, like a shepherd's pie, but in Italy. So whatever Italian word for shepherd is,
Yeah, whatever that is.
shepardo.
Yeah, I don't know. I would always go for thicker pan style. And I've been to Chicago for work several times, both with I like to make stuff and before. Like I don't know how we ended up in Chicago a lot, but there's a place called Giordano's, I think is right.
I'm sure you're getting close.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the neighborhood. And it's like a chain restaurant. I mean, it's not a specialty, like a local place or anything. It's a chain there. And so Chicago people may disagree with me. I don't know. But for me, that's what I think of as Chicago pizza. Because it's like a good 1.5 inch thick.
Yeah.
Just all meat, all red sauce. Like, it's just so good.
See, I've had pizza in Italy, like in Naples, and it was good. I mean, it's food in Europe is a little different than food in the States, and so it was an in between. It's a little thinner crust because usually they're made in like a brick oven, which cooks faster.
Right.
So I think I like that style of pizza. Really light, kind of airy. I don't want to feel like I've got a brick.
I think I would like that if it's crispy.
And usually it is because it's so hot. It'll
Right.
crisp up the bottom. And it's not like a floppy piece of newspaper with
That's
meat
why I
and
don't
cheese
like
on the
New
top.
York, yeah.
So it has a little crispness on the bottom. It's still kind of thin.
I thought you said Christmas.
Crispiness. And they had a pizza place near our house in Belgium that Tiff and I used to go to all the time. And you could get, I think if you got a pizza, it was a 12 or 14 inch, I guess. You just kind of got what you got. And we could eat the whole pizza, like each one of us. Like she used to make the comment, because she was like, I can eat this whole thing and not feel gross. To where I could eat three pieces of like Papa John's.
Yeah.
And just feel disgusting. It was I don't know, it was different.
Yeah.
So I like my pizza a little thinner. I don't like American style like thin crust because it's crispy and then it gets super chewy.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. But I'll also say I will eat some pizza and I'm probably gonna put some hot sauce on it.
I'll have to try that.
It's delightful.
What does that work with all pizza toppings? Do you like it because it's hot, or is it the combination of hot and specific topping?
I don't think that there is a topping that I would not eat it with. I don't know if I answered that question properly at all. Or
Well,
if that was any
does
kind
the
of
hot
English.
sauce work better with meat stuff, or with, like, if you had a veggie pizza and you put hot sauce on it? Does that work?
Make it better?
Really? I guess it's all about if you like hot sauce.
True. Then in specific types of hot sauce. Like
Okay.
with Tijuana Flats. Tijuana Flats had
Ooh.
a hot sauce bar. And for people who don't know what Tijuana Flats is, like I'm
Miss
sorry.
Tijuana Flats.
It's a southern, Florida, Georgia-ish kind of place that started in Orlando. So when I was at UCF, they had the very first one that was down the street from the campus. We used to go there, eat a bunch of tacos and a megawana burrito.
It's good. It's just American Mexican food.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just good. It feels really like fresh. I don't know if it actually is more fresh than anything else, but
It has the appearance of fresh.
yeah.
Their ingredients listed sound fresh. It's the first place I've had fresh jalapenos. And they asked me if I wanted jalapenos. I'm like, I sure do. And then I crunched into one, and ooh boy, I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
I've eaten a lot of spicy food, even though I'm not a diehard spicy food consumer. Like, I've done a wing challenge, and I hated it, but I did it just because of peer pressure.
Huh.
Yeah. At a place called, is it like a Wing Stop or Quick Stop? It was like a,
Yeah, Wingstop is a place.
but I don't know if it was the same one. It might be a chain. It had the Carolina Reaper and Ghost Pepper, whatever sauce, and it came in this little egg crate, and you had to wear gloves, and I had to sign a waiver, and I had to take my
What?
ring off. Oh, yeah. It was terrible. I got a bumper sticker.
It's totally
The
worth
Atomic Wing Challenge. Me and another guy did it, and just your face goes numb, and you start leaking from all your
it. See,
orifices.
that's like, why would you do that? That
It's
doesn't make
peer
any
pressure.
sense.
That's all it is. Straight up. I was in
makes
the
no
Army, and a
sense.
bunch of people did it, and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm going to do it because I'm super tough, doing
Yeah.
stupid stuff for no reason. That was the only justification that I had, was that there were people egging me on, and it seemed like a benign enough thing to give into peer pressure to do. I mean, there were definitely way stupider, more harmful things that I could have chosen to do, and
That's
eating
true.
some hot wings was... If that's where I have to earn my credit, then
Yeah.
let's do it.
I'm really happy with myself that I would just happily in that situation be like, man, forget this. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to prove anything
That was-
to any of you people.
Hindsight, yes, that is a much smarter move. But
Because
got
I just wouldn't handle that well. I don't do great with hot stuff.
what's happening here?
So this week, in a couple of days, we're headed to New York
New York
for
City.
another Maker Faire.
Yep. It's
You've
the
not
season.
been to New York Maker Faire, right?
I've not.
Okay. I was pretty sure about that.
Nope, I haven't.
What are you expecting? What are you hoping for? What are your hopes and dreams?
People talk about the difference between the Bay Area and the New York, being that Bay Area is way more artistic and the bigger Burning Man type, like, robotic things. And I don't know. I have no expectations because you can't really go into a Maker Faire with expectations.
Yeah,
because your mind is going to be blown by what people are making or what they're doing or how they're doing it or little kids making robots and things. Like, it's just, you're constantly being wowed. And so I think I'm looking forward to New York City. Like, there being a Maker Faire that is also in New York City. And it's a part of New York that I've never been to. So it's in Queens.
Yeah.
And I've only been to Manhattan. So, and there's a bunch of cool people. I mean, a bunch of people that we know that we get to hang out with. And this is the super fun time where all the internet friends get together and get to hang out in real life.
That's one of my favorite things about Maker Faire. And it's happening more than, 2 years ago. Like, a couple of years ago, when I first really started going to them on a regular basis, it was like I would see a few people that I knew from the internet. And now it's like everybody knows to go because that's where everybody gets to hang out. Mm-hmm. So you get to see a lot of people, almost to a fault. Like, it's difficult. It's difficult to get to see everybody. Like, I've talked to a few people already and said, like, hey, we should totally try to steal away and, like, have a meal together without everybody else. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not going to eat, like, 10 meals while I'm there, So
I think I've done the same thing with different people.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
We are overbooked.
Yep. So we're going to have to... I haven't booked anything for you.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I don't book things for you. You're a grown-up. You can make your own friends. But, yeah, trying to, like, we should totally go, like, have a meal. And then I think back to all the other times or all the other, like, conventions or shows or whatever that have this same atmosphere and how difficult it is.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you or when Jimmy or when somebody else, like, there's news of you guys going to go get food somewhere. So then the horde comes and usually end up at a restaurant and like, do you have room for 40? And we all need separate checks, please.
Yeah.
So like, that is just painful.
Yeah.
And I'm not one for big groups.
Yeah.
And I kind of get the feeling you are too, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because the big group follows you around.
Yeah. It's not a thing I super enjoy. I enjoy the people. I just don't enjoy at Bay Area, after it was all over this last year, we all tried to go to where was that? Red Robin?
Oh, that experience was terrible.
So it wasn't that bad. But we tried to go to a restaurant and we're standing out in front where there were a couple of restaurants there. One place couldn't get us in. And everybody was like standing around like, what do we do now? And I'm like, good grief. I have to parent these 40 adults here. And I just walked into Red Robin. I'm like, all right, guys, we're going to Red Robin. Everybody come on.
Yep.
And it worked. But I don't really like that so much.
Where are we going? But you got to call so-and-so and tell them we're not going there anymore. And it just becomes just a big thing.
Yeah, it's keeping track of people,
Yeah, it's nice because everybody's friends and you want to make sure that you hang out with all the people. But you end up talking to like the 3 people that are around you.
Right, yeah. There's not a lot of benefit to being a gigantic group at that point.
But I'm looking forward to, I don't know, I'm not a foodie. I would like to be a foodie.
Really?
Yeah. I really like food as an art and that people can make awesome stuff out of basic ingredients and stuff. So New York City to me is like what Paris was. Like it's just this epicenter of really awesome kind of culinary treats that you see about on TV shows that we don't have in our small town. And so part of me is like anybody who lives in New York, like where should I go eat that is not a Red Robin or like the Sbarro in Times Square. And so it's those little lost gems that
there's an Olive Garden.
Right? Ooh.
Yeah.
So many breadsticks. But those are things I'm looking forward to. So not just like food, but getting out and going to experience a place that I've never been with people that have actually lived there before.
Yeah. You have been to New York, though.
I've been to New York one time with my wife where we just touristed up the place.
So what all did you see while you were there?
Manhattan. We just walked all around Manhattan. Meandered about. Went to some famous-y type places.
Famous-y type?
Yeah, we went to Rockefeller Center. We took the ferry ride out to Statue of Liberty. Yeah,
See, I've never done that.
Went to the High Line. Know about the High Line?
Name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
but I don't know
Matt
what it is.
Reganini told me about it because his wife was from New York, and it's an old like elevated subway rail that's been decommissioned for a long time, so they make it into a green space. And so there's a lot of trees and a lot of like bushes and stuff, and there's some like artsy shops, and we went around, hung out there in like the meat packing district. There's a cool place to get a bunch of food. But we did a thing where we would tell each other random wrong facts about each place that we went. So that made it kind of fun and special. But who could come up with the stupidest, completely wrong piece of information about, wherever we were. So it'd be nice to actually go to a place with people who have lived there before or know what they're talking about to get some context instead of making up stupid false facts.
Maybe you may find that was more fun.
True.
You're like, oh wow, this isn't really that interesting. I've been to New York several times, but I've never actually done any of the touristy stuff. Never been to the Statue of Liberty. I went to Central Park one time. Mm-hmm. Like we walked where Strawberry Fields is. We walked in that little area and then by where John Lennon was shot, which is right outside that. And that was, I think, about it. But we've always been there for a specific reason or to see a friend or something. So it's not like we don't typically just wander,
When going to a new city, I love wandering. It's been like out of everywhere that we've lived, especially in Europe, like you mentioned earlier before about the parades, like stumbling upon a parade randomly, like how that makes you feel. When we randomly stumble across things, like those are the magic moments.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite experiences have been just accidentally finding something.
Yeah.
And that's what we did when we were in New York. Like we've heard of places, I've seen places in movies, like, let's just kind of go that way. Mm-hmm. And we had a great time.
I've done that in San Francisco. One of the first times I was there, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I just started wandering around. Mm-hmm. And I had like an afternoon, free afternoon. So I wandered into Chinatown.
Yep.
And it was super cool. A lot of other people that I've talked to really don't like going into Chinatown in San Francisco. I loved it.
We liked it.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm walking around and just like looking at stuff. Don't know what I'm looking for. Don't know how far I should be going or any of this stuff. And I go around this corner and there's a Banksy painting.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, hey.
That's awesome.
Like I've never seen that before, but I know who that is. And then I went and there was a little plaque on the wall, like a little piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And they had the painting and this piece of paper covered up with plastic, like plexiglass. So that the owners of the building had preserved this thing. And it's a picture of a doctor with like standing there with a stethoscope. And I can't remember what the stethoscope's on. But anyway, there's a big like peace sign and a plus sign and a heart. And then he's standing next to it. It's a really cool picture. But it was nice to stumble across that. And out there, at least, there's tons of graffiti. And that's always fun to look at. So I've wandered there. I wandered in New York a little bit. But usually, like I said, it's because we're there for something. So we just kind of go see who we're going to see. But, this weekend, we're probably not going to get to do a lot of that.
Nope.
Because it's busy.
Yep.
Busy. And as far as like the fair itself being different than Bay Area, it's smaller. Still pretty big, but smaller. I think it's got a lot more of a tech focus and an education focus because, well, I don't really know why. I always kind of assume that a place that's so urban like that, there's less, opportunity for building big giant things or being super experimental about like, let's make an installation that's a giant cat, that's also a piano, that's also a car, it's like random crazy stuff that's in Bay Area. I always assume that there's just less opportunity and less space for that in a place like New York City. So
just because you think space is a premium?
Yeah, that's just a guess. I have nothing really to base that on. But there's a lot more digital fabrication, a lot more, focus on coding for kids and tons of 3D printing and stuff like that, which seems like the footprint makes a lot more sense in an urban environment. But I don't know if that's true or that's just my assumption. Or both.
I don't know. I always like going by the booths that have like the middle school or the high school kids and showing off something that they're really proud of. Mm-hmm. Because, doing what we do here, like we know, or I met when we were in San Francisco. It's like, oh, there's Dan from Glowforge, or there's Zach from Inventables, and like the presidents of these companies because you happen to talk to them, and I happen to happenstance talk to them, and that's neat. But getting to see these kids who are starting in their journey of amazing things like and where they can become. Like it gives me hope for my kids, and it kind of gives us little homeschooly ideas as to where we can take things. And so there's part of me that uses this as like an expo, like a homeschool expo. So I'm interested to see that stuff too, stuff that I can take back to my kids, or like the Tapagami people. They had like a book, the how-to book, so stuff that we can take back and our kids can play with or learn from or benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
Besides getting to hang out with the cool people, like I look at it like an educational opportunity for them too, by proxy.
I just like to hang out with people. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I totally agree. It's Maker Faire, like in general, is one of those things that can be that. It can be a hangout. It can be eye-opening for an adult. It can be eye-opening for a kid. It can just be like a good, fun afternoon. Like it can be a lot of different stuff for a lot of different types of people, and I think that's why it's successful. It doesn't happen, excuse me, as much in the smaller fairs, and that's a shame. But like the Louisville one was kind of evidence of that. Just not enough like variety of people there to match the variety of attendees. I have extra pieces.
And I have different extra pieces.
So these two go right here.
Oh, I missed that step.
And I missed where the two black pieces go.
The two black pieces?
I have these two black pieces left.
On the sides?
I got those.
Oh, I don't know. You're lost then.
Thanks. Appreciate that. You're so helpful.
I missed one and I had to go back and figure it out.
I tried to go back and I thought maybe they were extra, but
now I feel like I have an appropriate amount of extra pieces.
yeah, I have two. You never have two extra pieces of the same one.
Mm-mm.
So, all right, well, I got to go back.
Yeah.
Dang it. So close.
Got that one in there. Oh, there they are right there. That's easy. I go right there.
Oh. Yeah.
Boom.
In the most difficult place to put in. Sweet. Good. Good. Oh. All right, cool.
So, how are your kids with you leaving again? This is a really busy month for us.
I think they're all right with it. I unfortunately travel more, over the year more than I used to, and they've gotten used to it. I think when I'm gone for a week at a time, that's when it starts to get kind of hard for them.
Yeah.
But when I can tell them that, no, it's just a weekend, it's like a short weekend, long weekend, like I'll be back soon, they seem to be better with it. How are your kids handling it?
Not bad, because Deacon asked me, because I forgot to tell him that I was going. And so I told him yesterday when we were going up to Louisville. He's like, you're going on another work trip? I'm like, yeah, but it's just a weekend. And it was kind of the same. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the Maker 13 that asked me to be on their board of directors, the place we went this last weekend, they're going to Milwaukee next weekend. So the weekend after we get back from Maker Faire, and they wanted me to go with them. And I kind of had to, unfortunately, kind of draw the line somewhere, because it's been a super busy month.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would like to go just because it's neat and it's stuff that I'm interested in, but I don't want to be gone again. Yeah. I've got house projects to do. I've got kids to play with. Yep.
Well, and there's only so much benefit from, like going on a trip that's going to pay something or give you a certain experience that you need or make a connection that you need. Like those have value, but a lot of these types of things are useful and interesting, but they're not essential. Like they're not doing anything. And I struggle with that because I want to be a part of all these different things. I want to go to all the Maker Faire. I want to see all my friends and stuff, but not all of them are really that beneficial. It's just...
And it's really tiring. And I now fully understand, like when you would say in the past that like going on a trip eats into kind of the time here, to where I think that people look from the inside out and think that it's all just one like seamless kind of venture.
Yeah.
I like to make stuff here. We should be just as easily, I like to make stuff in public and other places, and that is equal to a piece of content or equal to a build in growing the community and all those ancillary things, yes. But as the bread and butter, like that's time away from the shop. And a weekend may be a little bit different, but we have to, on Friday, we're leaving to go to the airport. So we have to pack up all the cameras. We got to pack up all that stuff, which means we are losing time here in the shop. And then Monday when we get back, because we get back late Sunday night, I think-ish. Yeah. So Monday, it's undoing all of that stuff and then trying to get back into the flow
And no weekend, like no relaxing downtime in between 2 work weeks.
Yeah, because these events are action-packed.
Yeah.
The guys at Maker 13 asked about dinner for this meetup, and I'm like, well, I went off the assumption that the Louisville Maker Faire was going to be a little bit bigger. I was like, well, with people doing talks and people like just being around each other, like you don't eat, you don't drink.
Right.
So those dinners that are packed with 30 people, like those are 30 like hangry people because they've been on their feet nonstop the entire day doing things. And so it's fun because you get to hang out with your friends, but it is a lot.
Yeah.
It's
so
tiring.
yeah, when you stack that in between 2 full work weeks, you go back to work and you don't really have fun, but you don't really have downtime.
Yeah.
So like Monday we'll hop right back into it and kind of be behind. So we're playing catch up and we're tired. And so yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's just one of those things I don't want to overdo. And it's so easy because there's so many events. There's so many different opportunities. Fun. Yeah, they are fun.
You make a lot of awesome connections.
Yeah.
We're not trying to come off as like, oh, it just gets in the way, because that's definitely not the case.
Yeah. There's a balance.
Yeah. It's a lot.
You want to do bag 6?
Heck yeah, I want to do bag 6.
Noises. Yeah, it is a lot. And, over the course of a year, I guess I'll wait till we're done with this. Over the course, no! Oh, man. It's lost. Over the course of a year, those trips can add up, and it can have an effect on the family. And like, I don't know how people who travel a lot for work, especially when they don't have any control over it, it's just like part of the job that they have to do. I don't know how that works. There was a guy, some friends of ours that are our age, their parents. This guy's very successful. Worked in sales and then moved his way up, so where he was at the corporate level of these pretty big companies. The company that he was working for was in, let's say Arizona or something, somewhere out west. And he was expected to be in the office, I think 3 weeks, like the weekdays of 3 weeks out of a month. He lived in Atlanta. So he would fly every Sunday night, would fly to Arizona. Where the details may be quite a little bit off here, but it's similar to this. He would fly out there, stay for the weekdays, fly back right after work on Friday to be with his wife. His kids were grown out of the house, his grandkids. Would fly back to be with his wife for the weekend, and then turn around and do the same thing. And then 1 week a month, he worked from Atlanta.
Wow.
And I just, he was really successful. He's an awesome guy, super, would take care of everybody and, giving and, he was doing it for a reason. But, man, that much travel for a job, I just can't even imagine what that would do to, your energy level and your relationships. And, you would have to work so hard to keep everything relationally in the right place. And then you're working hard at that. Do you have enough stamina to work hard at your job, too? At a distance,
Yeah.
Man, that just seems like a lot. But...
So when I was in Belgium, I traveled probably every other week. I would be gone for the week. And so we had a super hectic travel schedule. So I was in the Army, and you would think oh, you're away from home being deployed or whatever. I saw my wife more when I was in the regular warfighting Army than I was when I worked at NATO in Europe. Because everything had to be pre-positioned. Everything took a long time. We were there early. We would have to go scout out places, and usually it was, the man has to go to Italy or to Hungary or to this place in Germany. It would take a certain amount of time for us to fly the helicopter.
Right.
So we were gone a lot. I have a hotel routine on lockdown. I can pack a bag with the quickness and unpack that bag just as easily. But it was super wearing. Tiff would ask at any given time, are you going to be home, for this week? Because so-and-so may show up from the States to come hang out with us. And I would go, I have no idea. Because at the drop of a hat, we would have to leave. So there would be world events going on that the guy that we worked for would have to be there for. And there were sometimes really stupid things and sometimes really important things. The World Economic Forum in Switzerland, we have to go to that. And so we would know ahead of time. Or so-and-so from... General whatever just got fired, or when the war in Libya kicked off, we have to go down to Italy tomorrow. And it takes us 2 or 3 days to get down there. And so we would have to leave like the next morning.
That's crazy.
And a lot of times we couldn't tell people where we're going because that travel schedule was classified.
Oh, right.
And so we kind of would. But it got really hectic. And it was supposed to be like a non-deployable unit. And it was a reward for being deployed or doing really good things. Like, oh, you get to go to this really cool, specialized, hand-picked unit. But it was way more work than just the regular, everyday kind of army that I was in.
Was that because it was a little more like, you got to go right now?
It was, you have to go right now. And to do, like, to move somebody. It's not just, oh, they're going to come to the airfield and we're going to pick them up. We're going to fly them there. I'm going to wave by and then we're going to fly back. Like, it was, no. You have to go there. You have to talk to the airport handling people. You have to get all of the rituals and the pomp and circumstance stuff out of the way. You have to figure out how we're going to pay for things. They might not speak the same language. We have to figure out handling fees and hangar fees and like all these other little nuanced stuff that I didn't really have to worry about. And then you have to worry about diplomatic clearance codes or whether I need my regular passport or my official passport. And just little silly things. And you have to be there the day before because it's a no-fail, like no-fault kind of environment. Like, you can't be late. So rather than being 1 minute late, we're going to be 2 days early.
Right.
So everything took longer. And
so in that situation, what's the penalty if you're late?
Sometimes it was obvious because of the person that we worked for. Like, their time is very important. And okay, for instance, we called him the boss, and he had a nickname. We called him Doug, and it was the Supreme Allied Commander. So what General Eisenhower was during World War II, it's an American general that runs the military forces in NATO. Like, he had a meeting with the King of Denmark, and we had to go. But we didn't figure out how to pay for our handling fees at this airport. We went to Dusseldorf, and they tried to charge us like 30,000 euro to land our helicopter at this place that they were going to make me put on my personal credit card because they weren't going to take.
Got a pretty good limit on that card, huh?
Right. I had to call and get it up. But they weren't going to let us leave the airport. They weren't going to give us instructions to leave until we ponied up. We're like, we're going to be late. And this guy's going to miss a meeting with the king.
Right.
And so it's all face and it looks bad and you don't want to, it's very professional. And so it's a lot of like reputation type stuff.
Gotcha.
But
it's not like they're going to make you ride on the outside of the helicopter back to X country or anything.
You laugh about that.
Okay.
Is that we would get left. Like, if I was inside, there was one time where I almost got left. And we were in somewhere. I think we were in Munich. And I was inside still paying for things, and the boss got back early. And so if I wasn't there, they were leaving without me. Oh, and we had a standing rule. It's like, you have your travel card, you have your government kind of credit card, you know where you live, you're a grown-up, get back home by whatever means to get back home, and then we'll deal with it later. But you are less important than the person that we work for.
Yeah, gotcha.
So there's always that weird kind of threat, which I thought was always kind of funny. And a part of me kind of wanted to get left behind. But then again, I was in uniform and like a flight helmet and stuff. So I'd just be stranded in the middle of this destination European location with my stupid uniform and like a flight helmet. But I mean, that was kind of what we did. And we had to deal with it. And I'm sure that Tiff has her own like personal stories about how that was just frustrating as a wife and as a mother, because Deacon was born there. And that was part of my reason why I left the Army. Is because their priorities were way more important than mine, according to them, and I disagreed. And at any given moment, it was like, no, you're not doing what you want to do. You have to do what we tell you to do, even though this is supposed to be like a more relaxed, chill kind of location. And it seems, please don't take that it's whining, because I got to go to these amazing locations and have these awesome stories, but it's really trying on your family.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Because I was unreliable to the person that I loved most in this world. I couldn't give a straight answer, whether I was going to be home for dinner or home because, your mom or your dad is coming in town and they want to go on this fun European vacation. I'm like, well, you might have to do it without me. Or you have a maternity appointment that I'm going to have to miss.
Right.
Because someone wants to go to the Netherlands for some dumb reason. And So yeah, I get that travel schedule, and I mean, it was fortunate for us. We didn't have to spend it like the typical, like airline jet setter would.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had our own kind of mode of transportation, but living out of hotels, and I remember I get really weird. I have a weird ritual at a hotel that I have to leave the bathroom light on, and I usually keep the TV on to give me a point of reference in the hotel. Because we would get lost and get so disoriented because one night we'd be in one hotel and we'd go to another country,
right.
be in another one. And we had a guy that was new to our organization, and he came down and he was like, "Yo, I peed in the corner of my room last night. Peed in the corner." And we're like, and I was expecting people like to laugh at him, and this one guy was like, "Oh yeah, that happens." Just like he got lost and couldn't find the bathroom.
Wow.
And thought he was in this one place and was trying to walk like through a closet into where he thought was the bathroom from yesterday's hotel. He's like, "Yeah, dude, I peed in the closet."
Whoa. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and I would get lost. I'd wake up and have no idea where I was, and it would freak me out. And so I had to have the TV on to kind of give me like a single place. I'm like, okay, I can get my bearings based on the TV. And he usually gave like a nightlight type thing. I'm like, all right, now I know where I am. Because I didn't want to pee in the closet. Which was, I mean, a real thing. So I don't know if commercial business travelers who are very professional are willing to admit that they've peed in a corner of a hotel because they're such, experienced travelers, but it's a thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine it would be. There's also probably a different, well, I don't know. Maybe that's not fair. I was going to say maybe there's a different amount of stress for commercial travelers that do that than where you were, but maybe not. Maybe they have...
The stress was different. It was just like, man, I'm tired of being here. Like, I'm tired of being gone. Yeah. It's neat, but the novelty of it all wears off really quickly because you're just like, I'm tired and I have stuff I have to take care of at my house, but I'm not at my house. And I spoke French, and we would be random places, and somebody would walk up to me with their cell phone. They go, the electric guy is at my house. My wife doesn't understand what he's saying. Talk to this guy.
Oh, wow.
And so I would get like a phone thrusted in my face in random places, and I'd have to try to understand what repairman was at some random person's house because they weren't there to take care of it.
Huh. So I never really thought about that. Like the language, like soldiers get deployed all over the places, and obviously they're not going to know the language everywhere.
Nope.
But I guess in European countries, I just kind of assumed that was an easier thing to get around, but I guess not.
Some yes. A lot of European countries will speak English, and they'll claim that, like, oh, I'm sorry, I only speak a little bit of English, but I'm going to explain that I don't speak a little bit of English in the King's English better than half of your family. But I spoke French, so that was good. In France and Belgium, certain parts of Switzerland. We had some guys that were stationed in Germany for a while, so they could speak German there, and in Holland. We had one of our flight surgeons could speak Italian. But there's a lot of hand gestures, a lot of makeshift sign language that'll kind of get you through. But yeah, you just got to kind of make it up.
I took 2 years of French.
Where?
In high school.
I took 4, and then 1 in middle school, and never thought I was going to use it. Did I tell you this story about when I first got into the country?
I don't know.
So, like, we got off the plane, and originally when they asked me to go to Belgium, I'm like, well, what language do they speak? They're like, they speak French. I was like, it's go time. I was like, Madame Lenou is going to be very proud. And so I got off the plane, and we went into NATO where we were living, and I had to go to the bathroom. So we went to this bookstore, and I was like, all right, it's time to bust out that French that you know and communicate with the locals. And so, pardon, madame, où est la salle de bain? Like, where is the bathroom? Like, day 1 French stuff. Yeah. And she was like, salle de bain? I'm like, oui, la salle de bain. And she walks me over to these books to, like, how to renovate your bathroom. And I'm like, oh, crap, that's wrong. Salle de bain is the room in your house that has the bathtub in it, not if you just want to go pee. I'm like, oh, pardon. Où est la toilette? She's like, oh. I'm like, yep, now we're clicking. Where's the toilet? And so she walks me over to this other section of the bookstore, clearly not a bathroom, hands me Twilight books. But the vampires and stuff. I'm like, nope. I'm missing something here. I'm like, I'm running through my head. I'm like, that's right. Où est la toilette? Like that. And I'm like, no. The restroom, the bathroom, And I like start pointing at my crotch all crudely. She's like, "Oh, the toilet. You would like to go to the toilet?" I'm like, yes, please. I'm like, crap, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
Well, you messed that one up.
That's funny. I wouldn't even attempt to try to speak French anywhere.
But you have to attempt, and that's what they respect.
It would be so bad. No, I mean, because you actually can. I can't speak it. I've never, like, I can understand a little bit of it from memory, but I was never good at speaking it. So.
I think the perception that Americans have of French people is that they're rude and they're pushy or whatever, but I think that they don't realize that the Americans that we would bring over there were extremely rude and pushy and wouldn't even attempt to acknowledge that they were in another place that was not their hometown and would get really irritated at the locals for doing things that they've been doing for millennia. And that's when, contention happened. And you just kind of give people the respect they deserve because it's their country, not mine.
Yeah, for real.
And, yeah, it was fun.
I finished my line.
I'm like 2 steps away.
Rawr. That looks really cool. If you're not watching the video, well, his leg fell off almost. We do video of this so you can see what we're building. I don't know that it's that interesting, but we do it.
So Voltron has proper legs now.
Yeah. Oh, these are both of the legs?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I mean, of course these are both the legs. Doy. Yeah, I don't know.
And
And the last piece.
Hands are slippery. There we go.
All right.
Bang.
There we go.
We have a yellow line and a blue line.
Nice.
Cool.
Sweet. And we're like 46 minutes in.
Perfect.
Good spot to
Huzzah.
wrap it up. We need to come up with like a running, like the pros and cons is a good running thing.
Mm-hmm.
We need some more of those.
Okay.
I don't know what they would be. I need to think of more movies that you haven't seen. That'd be good too.
I'm glad I at least got one that you hadn't seen. Even if
you were talking about Caveman.
Yep.
I saw a clip of Caveman 2 days ago.
In what context did you see?
It was
a
on
random
Twitter.
clip of
It
Caveman?
was a little GIF that came up, and it said Caveman under it, and it was like a T-Rex looking thing, like falling off a cliff or something, or like leaning over.
Okay.
But it looked like a cartoon face on this T-Rex. Like it was really silly looking. But it said it was from Caveman. I was like, hey, that's that movie.
It was stop motion claymation.
Yeah.
So if it was
Right.
cartoon, then that was something.
No, it wasn't cartoon,
Okay.
but it was goofy.
Yeah. Well, they had these fruits that was gonna make the T-Rex pass out, and so they did like the leave a little breadcrumb, and it was like, ooh, piece of candy type thing, and the T-Rex ate all the things, and I think he passed out.
Okay, maybe he was falling over.
Yeah.
Well, that was enough of the movie for me to see. I was like, yeah, that's the one.
Done.
Yep. All right, where can people find you?
Well, you can check on Instagram at the PI Workshop.
And me, well, both of us, at
Yep.
I Like to Make Stuff on all the stuff. And I guess this will be out after we're at Maker Faire. So if you have a time machine and you're not at Maker Faire, go back in time to this coming weekend and see us at Maker Faire. Does that make sense?
A little bit.
I think that made sense.
All right. Mystical.
Yeah. If you've got the time stone. All right. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Right.